Hello, welcome to episode number 512 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Raw for week 3 of April 2024. We have a week removed from the Raw after WrestleMania. And yeah, we set some stuff up going forward for the future of this brand, including the attack at the end of the show by Dijak on the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. And, you know, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes teaming up against Pretty Deadly. New Intercontinental Champion crowned Humberto Carrillo. And yeah, a whole lot more, which actually is weird because this is technically, well, it's not officially because, you know, I can set shit up in angles next week, but for all intents and purposes, this may as well be the go-home show for Vengeance, because next week is the draft, so it's going to be draft matches and draft-centered. We're doing a draft lottery, you know. I realised the current WWE draft format was sort of like tired and I wanted a break from it. And now, you know, after what happened in real life, people seem to be agreeing with me, so yeah. But anyway, yes, without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show, where we have our main event to crown Bayley as challenger for Vengeance. A fatal four-way between Alexa Bliss, Shayna Baszler, Tatum Paxley, and Kairi Sane, as well as Trick Mello 2, which will actually be the opening match of the night tonight. Without any more further ado, though, actually this time, let's jump straight into the show. Our American Nightmare opens the show. And he goes, "So, Grand Rapids, Michigan, what do you guys want to talk about?" You see, WrestleMania 40 was one of the biggest pay-per-views in the history of WWE, you know. 2 nights of WrestleMania 40 jam-packed in Philadelphia. And last week, we started a new era. We started the new long road to WrestleMania 41 next year. And on that show, myself and an old friend of mine, CM Punk, we came back together and we tag teamed in the main event. But that wasn't where my night ended. Because after me and Punk won last week's main event, who do I get jumped and assaulted by but Dijak? Now, if you're paying attention to Raw over the past 6 months, you'll know that myself and Christian Cage, we had a bit of a rivalry. He said some things about my father that I wasn't quite gonna sit there and take, as well as some other things. And Christian, I fought at WrestleMania when your best friend retired, and you and him shared a 5-second pose, and you showed a moment of weakness, a moment of humility, dare I say. But I thought you changed. But here you are last week sending Dijak on me, you know, a man whose powers you've used for your own selfish gain over the past few months, including parading around with his well-earned Intercontinental Championship. So, Christian, get your ass out here right now. Christian does come out. This is the first time we've seen him since WrestleMania. He says, "Cody, it's been a long time no see. How's your father holding up? Is he still dead?" Of course he is. But there's one thing I do want to address, Cody, is that you're coming out here, you're throwing all sorts of horrible accusations at me. Like you said, at WrestleMania, I turned a new leaf. When I saw Edge retire, I realized that it was time for me to leave my bitter ways in the past. But seeing you out here slandering my good name and accusing me of shit that I did not do, or you just bring that bitter asshole out of me, Cody. I can't help it. Just looking at your stupid face and your stupid tattoo and your stupid blonde hair, and everything about you is just stupid. Including this stupid accusation that I sent Dijak to attack you last week. Now, Cody, I don't know if you know this, but Dijak's his own man. Dijak's actually a former Intercontinental Champion. Dijak beat Edge. I wasn't here last week. You know, I was in Philadelphia, but, you know, coming out in front of the fans in Philadelphia once was enough. But sadly, I've been dragged out in front of the fans here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, to defend myself from slander by your name, Cody. Dijak did what he did last week. Go ask him why. It's got nothing to do with me. Me and Dijak, for all I know, Dijak disappointed me at WrestleMania. Dijak was a piece of shit who lost that Intercontinental Championship. So there's no point in me keeping a loser like that tied to my ankles, like an anchor dragging me down. Okay? With Edge gone, there's no room for me to be complacent because I know that I've got to prove that I'm better than Edge, and nobody will even remember his stupid career or his stupid comeback once I've retired, once I'm finally washed enough to call it quits. And Cody just laughs and goes, well, there's the real Christian, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry for all of you who thought he changed after WrestleMania. But Christian, you did say one thing, and one thing in there that really piqued my interest, and that's that you officially, for the first time, acknowledged that Dijak was the Intercontinental Champion. Because Dijak, like you said, he's a hell of a competitor, and he's somebody that I'd love to get back into this ring with again and fight. And I can respect coming out here and laying out the challenge like that and laying out the WWE Champion on the biggest Raw of the year. That takes balls. More balls than you've got, Christian. So now, I want to defend my WWE Championship, and I want to defend my WWE Championship against Dijak, and I want to defend my WWE Championship against Dijak at Vengeance. And of course, Christian, if Dijak is his own man, you shouldn't have a problem with Dijak getting the shot at my championship, and not you. Christian, you can tell he's kind of pissed off, and he goes, "You're right, Rhodes. At Vengeance, Dijak will be the WWE Champion. See you there." So yeah, there's the challenge accepted. Cody Rhodes defends the WWE Championship against Dijak at Vengeance. It's kind of a lower profile WWE Championship match, but A, it will be a banger. B, it furthers a story both going forward, and it's a nice callback to the Cody Christian rivalry. And C, I know what the main event of Vengeance is, and it's not the WWE Championship match, or I can get away with giving Dijak a shot on the pay-per-view. It's not the Women's Championship match either. We'll get to that, what the main event of Vengeance is, at a later date. We then cut backstage. Grayson Waller and Aaliyah pull up. And they see Dirty Dom backstage. He goes, "My friend Dirty Dom, how's it holding up, lad? WrestleMania was a big night, took a lot out of me, that ladder match, I had to rest up. I was tired out. That was after me and Aaliyah had done what we were doing in the hotel room, but then, I get dragged to Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it's all well and good because I go, for the first time since WrestleMania, I get to see my best mate Dirty Dom and finally in person congratulate him on being the Intercontinental Champion." He sort of looks around him with a stupid grin on his face. He goes, "Where's your title?" He goes, "Grayson, I lost it." And he goes, "Lost it? What? Like flying in here? What? Is it the airline's part? I think you can sue them if you angrily tweet at them on Twitter and tell them that they lost your luggage. They can give you a refund, especially if there's a valuable tile in there. Ask Alexa Bliss, she'll know about it." He goes, "No, you don't get it, Grayson. I lost it last week. Humberto Carrillo is the Intercontinental Champion." Humberto Carrillo? You lost it to that bum? Well, if Humberto's the IC champion like you say he is, that's a nice easy target for anyone else who wants to become the champion now. Somebody like, say, your best mate Grayson Waller. Dom goes, "Knock yourself out, Grayson." So yes, tonight, Humberto Carrillo makes the first defense of the Intercontinental Championship against Grayson Waller. Opening match gets a 75, which is actually bad. But, yeah, it's Mellow Trick 2, and tonight, Carmelo Hayes gets one back. He defeats Trick Williams with a foreign object and cheats to beat Trick to get his win back from WrestleMania in 1246 by using a foreign object. 81 for Mello, 68 for Trick. And then, yeah, big win for Carmelo Hayes. So it's one apiece between these two. And then it will be announced, on social media during the show, that at Vengeance, which is, next Saturday. So, the rules for the draft rosters won't take effect until the first week of May. So, we do the 3 days of the draft next week, and then Vengeance will have, the matches that have been announced by the Raw roster. And then, the day after that is when the shows take effect. So, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, one more time inside a steel cage at Vengeance. Even if either man was to be drafted away from Raw, this match would still be happening. Same with Dijak and Cody and anything else I announce for Vengeance. Even if they get drafted away, they will still be able to take place on the Raw branded pay-per-view. And vice versa, if there's... I think I specifically made sure there wasn't going to be any on Payback, which is the SmackDown pay-per-view the week after Vengeance. But if there is, then, they've already been announced for that show. So, yeah. ECW pay-per-view One Night Stand is on week 3 of May, so they should be perfectly fine and just have a whole card full of their, post-draft rosters. We then cut to the office. Batista's in the GM's office. He's on the phone to Triple H. They've got a big announcement tonight, and, it involves Logan Paul and KSI, so they're on their way to the building. When in walks Alexa Bliss. She walks into the office. And she's like, Dave? She's like, Alexa. And you can see her, sort of, looking around the office. She goes, redone this place up nice, Dave. And he goes, don't even think about it for 1 second. What do you want? Because, well, I just wanted to make sure, things weren't really awkward between me and you, because I know that before I left, I was a bit insufferable, but hey, you're welcome for Legends Night. That show's going to live on in infamy and from now on, but I understand. But now, I'm here to compete, I'm here to become the women's champion. I just wanted to, clean slate, let's put all that in the past, and let's move on with me, in your women's division. But he's like, you know what? I may regret this, but let's do it. Clean slate. And they shake hands, and then Becky Lynch walks in. And he goes, now, Alexa, if you could excuse me, I've got, business to attend to. And she leaves. She goes, Alexa, huh? Back in this office, glad I missed those days. And he goes, enough, Becky. Okay. Last week, AJ Lee was found laid out towards the end of Monday Night Raw. And luckily for her, she's going to make a quick recovery and she will be ready to go, in a few days' time, so she will be cleared come next week. So, whoever the attacker was, clearly didn't do a very good job on her, Becky. She goes, really? Damn. I mean, damn, that's great news. Great news for AJ. And Tita's like, well, you would happen to know who laid out AJ Lee, would you? She goes, why would I know that? I came out last week, I congratulated Bayley, and I left. And Pete goes, oh, really? Because they're telling me that the culprit, they were seen wearing, your special designer Foot Locker trainers, the Becky Lynch, the man, footwear. And she goes, I did lose a pair. So, I don't know, maybe check anybody on the roster who's got the same foot size as me. And the attacker had bright orange hair. She goes, what? Because it was bright orange hair, that means it was by default, does it, Dave? What about Gigi Dolan? Okay, was she here last week? Could have been her. What about that one girl from J-Flow? Okay, she's got orange hair. Batista goes, Becky, I'm not gonna accuse you outright, but, you have got a match tonight, so you better go get ready. Becky goes, well, make sure I don't attack anyone on the way out there, Dave. That would suck, wouldn't it? She sort of walks out. Batista sort of glares at her as she shuts the door. They get to the J-Flow locker room. They're performing. Mina's a little bit off cue. Her head's somewhere else, she's still thinking about last week. And Kathy goes, J-Flow, girls, it's Kathy Kelly here. And she walks in, she goes, what do you want? She goes, I was just here to say, that I just got word that the women's tag team champions, Utami Hayashishita and Asuka, are here tonight in Grand Rapids, and they're looking to defend their women's tag team championships for the first time since winning them. And I asked Batista, I said, who do you want to see them defend against? And he picked you two, pointing specifically at Maki and Mina. She's like, us? Why? And she's like, well, last week you seemed to be, butting heads a little bit, and then cooler heads prevailed, and then you sort of made up, and we want to just test your bonds. If you're stronger than ever, you should have no problems becoming the women's tag team champions tonight. Maki goes, yeah, you're right, we accept. So yeah, women's tag team championship match I want tonight will be Maki and Nina against Asuka and Utami. Then get a quick sit-down interview. Kevin Patrick is with Odyssey Jones, who made his debut last week. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time is the newest member of the Raw roster, Mr. Odyssey Jones. And he sat opposite him. It's one of those sit-down interviews. Or if it's not Kathy Kelly, Caleb Braxton, or Mackenzie, it's a sit-down interview, basically. So yeah. No, so he goes, well, it's great, thanks for having me, Kevin. It's great to be here on Monday Night Raw. I know this is a dream come true. I spent years grinding down in NXT, breaking powerlifting records left and right at the Performance Center, impressing everybody down there with my strength and my agility and everything. But I knew one day I'd make it to Raw or SmackDown. And last week that dream officially came true. I smashed down Tony Nese, and I'm here to stay. Odyssey Jones, Skyscraper, is here on Monday Night Raw. And goes, yeah, well, for those of you who may not watch NXT, can you give us a rundown on who you are and what your goals are here on Raw? He goes, like I said, Odyssey Jones, you look at me. I passed that airport test. You see me walking up to you thinking, hey, that guy, he's here to kick some ass. That guy, he's big, he's tough. But you might not look at me and see my agility and my desire and my heart to win. Because I've been on the other side of those barricades. And now I'm on this one. And when Odyssey Jones comes down to that ring, baby, there ain't nobody who's safe. Because I'm here on Raw to make a statement. I'm larger than life. And I'm picking up victory on my way to the top. And then Tanya Breeze walks in. She goes, oh, excuse me. Sorry, pardon. Kevin, why are you talking to this goof, fat oaf, when you could be talking to the men last week who main evented the Raw after WrestleMania, the greatest tag team of the 21st century, soon to be tag team champions, Alton Prince, Kit Wilson, Pretty Deadly, of the Maximum Male Models? Kevin goes, because we need to get the fans at home to know about Odyssey Jones. We know about you. We know way more than we want to know about you guys. And Brooke Jensen goes, that's no way to speak to a pretty lady, Kevin. Now, you're lucky I don't shut your mouth and smack you up for that. Odyssey Jones then steps up, he towers over Brooks Jensen, and he goes, leave Kevin alone and maybe try me if you've got issues here. See you out there tonight. And then yeah, Odyssey Jones and Brooks Jensen later on tonight. Then get a 76 rated 6-man tag. It's the Guns who are bringing this down basically, but yeah, they need to win. So of course they debuted last week to Dawson and Colton Gunn. They're just called Switchblade F and Guns right now because that was the logo I had made, and I can't think of an actual name for them. So that because they are just a trio at the minute, that will work as a placeholder name. They defeat Otis and the Cyclone when Jay White pins Otis with the Blade Runner. 32 for Colton Gunn, 45 for Austin Gunn, 72 for Jay White, 83 for Bronson Reed, 93 for Ricochet, and a 73 for Otis. And yeah, Jay White and the Guns picking up a 6-man tag win here on Raw. Then after the match, we see AJ and Finn watching backstage when Kathy Kelly approaches them. And she goes, AJ, Finn, I just got word from Batista that, Jay White will be facing off against one member of the OG leaders at Vengeance. So either you, AJ, or you, Finn. So, I just want to really check up on you and ask, who's it going to be? Which one of you two is going to step in there at Vengeance? And Finn steps in, he goes, hey, Jay White, he needs his mouth shut. He's got these Gun brothers by his side now. That's good. He can form his own little club over there. We've been there, done that. He's living in my shadow. Everything that I created led Jay White to where he is today. And I'd love nothing more than to shut his mouth at Vengeance. Then AJ steps in, he goes, but Kayla, or Kathy even, WrestleMania, Jay White went low on me. He stabbed me in the back after I was the one who brought him here. So if it's a fight he wants, then at Vengeance, it's a fight with the phenomenal one he's gonna get. So yeah, Jay White, AJ Styles, 1-on-1 at Vengeance. Should be a hoot. Then see Rhea approaching Tatum Paxley in her locker room. Tatum's getting ready for the main event tonight. And Rhea goes, "Hey, Tatum." And she's like, "Oh my god, Mommy." "Yes, Mommy, it's okay. I know what's happening tonight. Tonight, we're both going to be champions after Vengeance because I'm going to punch my ticket to Vengeance. I'm going to beat Bayley and I'm going to become the Women's World Champion. Our prophecy will be fulfilled, Mommy. You and I, champions together." Rhea goes, "Yeah, but also, it's not about winning or losing for you, Tatum, because I'm the champion here. It's about making sure that Alexa Bliss pays for what she did to us last week. I know she's got your old little friend Ivy wrapped around her finger, but it's okay because you're with me, and you trust me. So if Ivy's out there as well tonight, don't hesitate to put her down as well." So yeah, that's Rhea hyping up Tatum ahead of tonight's main event. 48 for this, sure, yeah. It's Odyssey Jones against Brooks Jensen. Goes 3 minutes. Odyssey Jones beats Brooks. 53 for Odyssey, 57 for Brooks. And yeah, not too shabby. No, yeah, quite shabby, actually. But another win for Odyssey Jones on Raw. Gable. We cut backstage and Chad Gable, he's watching footage of the match he had with Gunther on the WrestleMania Go Home show. So 2 weeks ago. It feels like a lifetime ago, but in universe it was only 2 weeks ago. And he's analysing the match and where he went wrong. He goes, "Chad, you can't make these errors. You can't make these errors. If you're going to prove to the world that you belong at the top of Raw in 2024, you can't be making those sort of mistakes. You got to be able to beat guys like Gunther. Because guys like Gunther are the benchmark of the top of Raw. So, you got to go back to the drawing board, whether it be Raw, or even if you get drafted to SmackDown or ECW, you need to prove that you can belong at the top. Find the biggest dog you can find and kick his ass. Whether that be Gunther or anybody else." Then head back to the ring. Triple H and Batista are in the ring. And, they welcome out the Raw Tag Team Champions, Logan Paul and KSI, the partners in Prime. And Triple H goes, "Well, at WrestleMania, Logan Paul and KSI, they retained those Raw Tag Team Championships against the greatest of all time, John Cena, and R-Truth, the former champion. And now, we head into a new era of Monday Night Raw. An era with Logan Paul and KSI, brand ambassadors, holding these championships, but Logan Paul and KSI are more than just Raw. They're global megastars. They can go everywhere with those championships. So it's my honor as the CCO here in WWE to present Logan and KSI with the World Tag Team Championships." And they pull out the World Tag Team Championships. No, we're changing the belts over. They have the same belts. I did the women's ones. They were different belts. But these are the same belts. Because they're fine. The World Tag titles are alright. The SmackDown tag titles are chef's kiss, so obviously I was going to keep those. But yeah, KSI and Logan Paul are the new World Tag Team Champions. And the New Day interrupt. Just Biggie and Kofi. And goes, "Kofi, do you see what I see in the ring right now?" Because I think I do, I think I see new championships. And last time, when those Raw Tag Team titles were introduced, they were introduced right after we lost the old Tag Team Championships. That ain't gonna fly. Because those championships we've never held. We've held Raw, SmackDown, WWE Tag Team Championships, but those World Tag Team Championships, they look new and shiny, and I can't think of a better place for those new and shiny championships to be than around the waist of the New Day. Logan Paul just laughs. He goes, "Championships, you're talking about championships. That's funny considering there's only 2 of y'all out here. Because the third member of your group is such a loser. he's sitting backstage thinking he's past it, thinking he's never going to make it to the top, and you're around here looking to take championships. And then Big E suddenly gets serious. He goes, you know, when you first came here to WWE, a lot of people were doubtful about your ambitions here, Logan. They thought you were just using this place to get ahead, using this place to clout before you drop this hobby, just like you do with all the other hobbies, and then you move on to pastures greener. But here you are 2 years later, and you're still, not only are you still in WWE, but you're a champion. You're a champion here in WWE, and that's impressive. But across those 2 years, you've learned a lot of different things. You've learned a wrist lock from a wristwatch. You've learned that these people, they're not so easily pleased. But one thing you haven't learned is that the New Day's bond is thicker than blood. So if you want to come out here and make fun of our boy Xavier Woods for what he's doing, because trust me, Xavier Woods will be world champion one day, and the New Day prophecy will be fulfilled. He may hit a setback at WrestleMania against Drew McIntyre, but that's just a minor setback. And when Xavier Woods is world champion, well, I can't think of anything better than for the New Day to all be champions at the same time. And for that to happen, me and Kof have got to save this company and those championships and take them from you. Logan laughs. He goes, hey, tag team championship match. Big E, Kofi, two former world champions, WrestleMania winners, winning world championships at WrestleMania, some of the very best to do it. You know who else is one of the very best to do it? John Cena. And we put him down at WrestleMania. And if you want me and my partner in Prime KSI at Vengeance for these, we'll see you there. So yeah, Logan Paul and KSI defending the World Tag Team Championships against Big E and Kofi Kingston at Vengeance. Then see R-Truth and the rest of Titus World Records backstage, reacting to that. And Titus goes, Truth, I know that you want to get those championships back. You want to hold those new World Tag Team Championships high. And I know you did it with your childhood hero, John Cena, and came up short. But listen here, you and John, you're not a real tag team, You hired John Cena because, he was your favourite wrestler growing up. But us, Titus World Record, we're your brothers. And if we say Truth, you're not ready. We need to get you in a shape to make sure you know when you can get those championships back. But for now, it's time for Titus World Records to regroup and to go back to our roots. 80 rating, sure, I'll take that. Asuka and Utami are here. They make the first defense of their women's tag team championships when they beat Maki and Mina of J-Flow. Asuka pins Maki with a spin kick in 12:30. She pins Maki with it, specifically. So make defense number 1 of the titles, yeah. 83 for Utami, 89 for Asuka, 72 for Mina, 70 for Maki. And yeah, nice win for Queendom, Seeping over to Raw. Who knows what brand Queendom will be on after the draft. So, maybe the Law will get moved over to Monday nights. So, we'll have to wait and find out. We then see Kofi and Big E walking backstage when they bump into Drew McIntyre. That was a great speech, guys. I'm almost proud of you. I almost put a tear to my eye, the things you're going to do for Xavier Woods, but you seem to think that he's got it in him to become world champion. I mean, I tell you now, as 1 4-time world champion to 2 fluke, one-time flash in the pan champions. He hasn't got what it takes. Look at him. And then look at a guy like me. Keep praying. You can pray and pray and pray all you want, but it's never going to happen. Because Xavier Woods, he doesn't have it in him to become a champion. Drew McIntyre, now that's a champion we can all believe in. Then see Mina, she's sitting down after the tag team title loss when she's approached by Kenzie and Kylie Page. She goes, oh, bravo, big win for Asuka and Utami, queendom, so we're two of the very best wrestlers here in the women's division of WWE. It would take an awful lot to topple them, and it's still really hard feelings about losing to a tag team like that. But, Kylie, was it a tag team defeat, or did Mackie lose the match for J-Flow? Because last week all I saw when we were beating those two was though they were arguing, and Mina seemed to make some great points, but Mackie just ignored her because of course Mackie knows best. And don't even get me started on why they even got this opportunity over us in the first place. So I'm just saying we're lost here right now. We could use somebody to guide us. Just wonder who could that be, Kylie? And they sort of just walk off. Amina sort of looks up confused and just shakes her head. 80 rating. We'll take that. Humberto, he makes defense on one of the IC title. He beats Grayson Waller with a moonsault in 13:42. Again, Orange Cassidy just wanders out. Just sits on the announce table with his thumb up. And that obviously distracts Grayson Waller, and Humberto does pin him to retain the belt. 79 for Humberto Carrillo, 71 for Grayson Waller. And so last week, Orange Cassidy cost Dominic Mysterio the title, and tonight he's cost Grayson Waller the chance to win it back for his bestest friend. Then see Kyrie getting warmed up in her locker room when Roxy walks in. She goes, hey, last week we got that big tag team victory, and tonight, because you got that pin, it's you getting the shot of the women's championship. And I'm just here to say, good luck, Kyrie. We've been friends for a couple of months now. We came together through, through means of, having the same enemies. But I think we've grown quite the friendship here. So I'm rooting for you to become number one contender tonight. And if you become the champion, then our friendship, who knows what'll happen then, because I'm gonna want that championship after you've got it. And Kyrie goes, Roxy, when I become champion, I'll give you a shot. We then see Grayson Waller. He's storming around backstage. He goes, hey, where's that guy? Where's the orange guy with jean jacket? Where's he at? Okay, I just want to talk to him. I want to talk to him with my fists. He goes, hey, Grayson, calm down. Calm down. I know it's irritating. I know it's frustrating that this guy who doesn't even really want to be here just walks around. And it's enough to distract anybody. Hell, Cody Rhodes could be out there and he'd get distracted by a guy like that. A big idiot. That's what he is. Who'd even dress like that, lad? It's silly. But, there's a lot of idiots on this show. Like, take my dad, for example. And, as he says, take my dad, you see Ray, sort of appear behind him. Like, he's walking by and he sort of hears it and stops and then approaches behind Dominic, but Dominic doesn't see him. My dad, biggest deadbeat on this roster. And, he was in that match to become Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania, but he couldn't win it because I did. I shut my dad up on the grandest stage of them all. And now, hopefully, when I get my championship back, my dad is drafted far away from Raw, so I can be the one true Mysterio here on Monday Night Raw. And he turns around awkwardly and Ray's there and he goes, no, keep talking, son, keep talking. Because, you're right. I may not have become Intercontinental Champion back at WrestleMania, but there's one thing that is for sure. If I won that match at WrestleMania, I'd still be the champion right now. Because don't you disrespect your son, you're right, you are a deadbeat dad. And then Dominic and Grayson Waller start beating up Rey Mysterio backstage, throw him into a wall. Carlito walks in, he's like, hey, back off. And then security pulls Waller and Dom away. Ray screams in pain as Carlito helps him up to his feet. Orange Cassidy walks in. He sort of just looks down at Ray, turns to Carlito and goes, what happened here? He goes, it was those two. And he's like, hey, I've not been here long, but I hate those guys. Carlito goes, yeah, I think we all hate those guys. Then cut to Gorilla. Amory Porter's in Gorilla. It's like, hey, Kelsey, I've got a match tonight. It's kind of a big opportunity for me. I sure do wish you were here. Last week I know you may have been blindsided, but I thought just a call or a text would be fine. But tonight, it's okay. Tonight, you've been tied to AJ. You've been tied to Kelsey your entire time here on Raw. Tonight's about you. Tonight's about Anne-Marie Porter. Tonight's about you going solo. You don't need guidance from anybody. You can do this yourself. And she walks out for her match. Gets an 80. Becky defeats Anne-Marie Porter with the manhandle slam and 7:58. 90 for Becky Lynch, 73 for Anne-Marie Porter. So it turns out she could not do it by herself. But, you know, who knows where Kelsey Cook is? And we know where AJ is. She got attacked last week, so, you know. Bizarre situation unfolding, but Anne-Marie appears to have no one right now. And see Shayna, like, she sat down at a table. She's, like, playing around with a deck of cards in her hand when Carmella walks up, and she goes, "Is this how the great Queen of Spades prepares for a championship opportunity?" She goes, "I don't need to prepare, Mella. Four-way out there tonight, that means 3 extra pairs of limbs that I get to snap. And whether it be Tatum or Kyrie or Alexa, I'm going to be the one to go to Vengeance, and I'm going to rip Bayley's arm off, shove it down her throat." Commander goes, "Hey, you know, me and Bayley, we used to be best friends, so I'd prefer if you didn't do that, but hey, I'm all in on you winning the championship." Then we see, like, some guy come in, like, give her a time cue, goes, "Hey, journey her up." And then we follow her through the hallway as her music's playing. We follow her through the hallway and out through Gorilla for the main event Fatal 4-Way. Gets an 85. Actually, a lot better than I thought it would be. And yeah, there's a lot of words on my screen, so yeah, I'll try and do this justice here. So, actually, I don't need to. Shayna Baszler wins. She submits Kyrie with the Kirifuda clutch to go to Vengeance, because Tatum Paxley and Alexa Bliss are neutralized. Rhea Ripley, of course, runs. When Alexa hits Twisted Bliss on Tatum, she goes to pin her to get the win, but then Rhea Ripley runs out, boots Alexa in the head. Because, you know, no DQ, she can do that in a 4-way. Ivy Nara runs out, she tries to take the fight to Rhea. And then Tatum tries to try and get involved, but she goes to hit Ivy and then sort of, like, pauses. And then Ivy's like, come on, hit me. Hit me, Tatum. And then Ivy Nara slaps Tatum Paxley in the face. And Tatum turns around, all shocked and disgusted. But then before she can hit Ivy, Rhea boots Ivy Nile down. And of course, this is all happening. She's all distracted. And then Shayna can pin Kyrie when that's all happening to pick up the victory and earn the shot at Vengeance. Bayley's on commentary as well, by the way. Yeah, 78 for Alexa Bliss, 83 for Kyrie Sane, 83 for Shayna Baszler, and a 67 for Tatum Paxley. And then Bayley comes in. She holds the belt up high. Shayna sort of looks up at the belt, like shakes her head. And then from behind, Carmella nails a super kick to the back of Bayley's head. And then her and Shayna Baszler beat up Bayley. Bayley doesn't have any shooters in the back because, she was a heel fairly recently. So, nobody really likes her that much. But, yeah. Shayna then leaves her laying out, holds up the championship. Next week is the 2024 WWE Draft, night 1 of the WWE Draft. Stars from Raw, SmackDown, and ECW congregate to all 3 shows this week for brand v brand matches. The winners of those matches earning draft picks for their respective brands. And obviously we don't know all the matches that will be happening, but we can officially confirm next week's Raw main event will be a mixed tag team match with 2 draft picks on the line, as CM Punk and AJ Lee, representing Monday Night Raw, will take on SmackDown's Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. So yeah, that's one of the draft matches next week, but it's time to shake things up. Nothing will ever be the same following next week's Raw. Then, that Saturday, we've got Vengeance, the first pay-per-view following WrestleMania 40, and we do have 4 matches announced for the show following tonight. The first being, as we just saw, Shayna Baszler will be the one to challenge Bayley for the WWE Women's Championship at Vengeance. On top of that, we have Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They're one apiece now. They will settle their rivalry at Vengeance inside of a steel cage, and who will be the one to walk out on top in that match. Then we have, for the new World Tag Team Championships, it's Logan Paul, it's KSI, defending the championships against Big E and Xavier Wood, not Big E and Kofi Kingston even, of the New Day. And then for the WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes and Dijak one-on-one for the gold. We then see Kathy Kelly She's backstage with Cody Rhodes. She goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time, the WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes." He goes, "So Cody, you know, it's now official. Next Saturday, you will defend the WWE Championship against Dijak at Vengeance." And Cody goes, "I'm glad that this got made official, Kathy. Because Dijak, he was somebody I've looked at for a long time as somebody who's a hell of a talent, but all he was doing was standing in Christian's shadow and doing Christian's dirty work for him. So Dijak, my one request for you, don't bring Christian to Vengeance with you. Me and you one-on-one for this. May the best man win." And then we sort of see him and Kathy sort of look off screen at something. And then CM Punk sort of walks past. Him and Cody sort of nod at each other. And then the camera shot then changes to Punk. So like it's all one shot. It's one of those one shot segment things that they do now. Where like it starts with us shooting Kathy Kelly interviewing Cody. Then Punk walks into frame and then the camera cuts to him and we see him walk all the way through the hallway. And then all the way through Gorilla, all the way down the ramp, all in one like shot to the ring. He sits in the ring, and then, you know, to close out the show, we'll hear from CM Punk. He sits down. He goes, "How we doing tonight, Grand Rapids? You know, I know a lot of people pay money to see CM Punk wrestle, but a lot more people will pay even more money to see CM Punk come down here with a microphone and have things to get off his chest. Tonight, what I've got to get off my chest isn't necessarily about myself. I mean, it can be. I could talk for hours about how I will be WWE Champion, how I'm back to main event WrestleMania, and write that one final itch in my career. But that's 11 months away. Hell, you know, we're 50 weeks away from WrestleMania. I've got a lot of time to kill since then. But this is about what you saw last week. Because, just like all of you, I may come out here, I may act the martyr, I may act too cool for this company and the rebel that you will look up to, an anti-authority, this and that. But I'm a man. And there's one thing you don't do to any man. It's mess with a man's wife. And now there's somebody back there who calls themselves the man, who did just that last week. Now earlier on, Batista, he said he wasn't going to point fingers at this individual for what he did to my wife on last week's show. My lovely wife, April, who's back next week, and me and her are going to win 2 draft picks for Raw. But I want to take this moment to call this individual down to the ring and meet me face to face right now. Becky comes out. She goes, "This better be important, Punk, because I was just about to leave because, you know, I've done my duties for today. You know, wipe the floor with your wife's little minion. You know, washed and showered. She was going to sit back and watch the rest of the show in peace, but apparently I've got to be out here for you." And he goes, "A lot of people are going to ask you one question. A lot of people are going to ask you, Becky Lynch, why? Why did you attack AJ Lee last week on Raw? I'm not going to ask you that question. I'm not even going to ask, did you attack AJ Lee on Raw last? Because the evidence is pretty damning, and you can try and blame this person or that person or any other person. But I know the truth. These people know the truth. It was you who laid out my wife. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. And I don't need to ask why you did, because I can see in your eyes right now. I know why you did it, and I'm right. This isn't about you and April. This isn't about you and I. This is about me and your husband. You see, I'm a free agent. I can float, at least until next week. I can float on Raw, SmackDown, or ECW, wherever I damn well please. But Seth, he's confined to SmackDown. If I'm not on SmackDown, he can't come over to Raw unannounced and mess with me, because he still can't get over the fact that at WrestleMania I embarrassed him. I came back, my first WrestleMania match in 11 years, and I put him down. Sure, a lot of people are saying it was the match of the night, match of the year. I don't give a damn about things like that. I care about what I did, and that's get one over on a guy who ruined my comeback, on a guy who wronged me. But apparently, I was the man in this situation, and I thought, two guys go out into the ring, they settle their differences, they make a ton of money, and then they go their separate ways and move on. But apparently that's not what your husband does, because apparently your husband is not a man. So, if I was Seth freaking Rollins, well, first of all, if I was Seth freaking Rollins, there'd be a lot of things wrong with me. But, in this scenario where I am Seth freaking Rollins, and I want to get one even on CM Punk, but I can't physically show up to Raw to lay him out. Who do I have do my dirty work? What do I know is the one trigger that will set CM Punk off? Well, it's his wife. I'm sure he'd feel the same way if April laid you out last week. So, Becky, I'm not angry. I'm puzzled and, quite frankly, pitiful that you'd, do such a thing and, use yourself as a pawn, the great man. No man can tie her down except when she's on a leash to her husband who's ordering her out at beck and call. Then all of a sudden she's not this badass rebel. She's a coward who attacks people from behind. But fear not, Becky. Because, as I said earlier on, I am a free agent. I can go over to ECW tomorrow night. I can see my old friend Paul Heyman, if he's even going to show up. I can see all those guys. I can see main event Jey Uso. I can see Florence. I can see everybody on that show. But I can also go over to SmackDown. I can see their world champion Swerve. I can see their women's champion Dakota Kai. And I can see Seth Rollins. So this Friday, you better tell your man that he better be on lookout. Because I'm not going to get angry at you. I'm not going to put my hands on you. That would be beneath me. This is between me and you. This is between me and Seth. And then Punk goes to leave. And he stops. But this may not be between me and you, Becky. But it is now between you and her. And he leaves. And then AJ Lee jumps into the ring. She jumps Becky from behind. And Becky and AJ brawl. CM Punk, he just sort of walked off. He's letting his wife fight her own battles. Because, she is a strong, independent woman. She doesn't need her husband. And then, the security come out and pull him apart. And that's how we close. AJ and Becky fighting off, being held back. And Punk teasing that he will be going over to SmackDown this week to see an old friend. 91 rated show. Yeah. That's basic. As good as the go-home show. There will be some angles next week on Raw. But like I said, it's going to mainly be draft day. But yes, that's all what matters most like you thought of the show. Do let me know if you want the comments below, and I'll see you next time. No, I won't, because this isn't over. We've got Heat to do. That's Braun Strowman. That's supposed to be Brandy. Heat kicks off with Brandy Strowman in her office, and she's talking about, we got another big episode of Heat ahead of us here tonight. In our main event, Roxy Perez will take on Alba Fire in singles action. Plus, following their return to action last week, well, not return to action, just return to the show last week. We're going to have Next Gen back in action. 2 members of Next Gen will team. I think it's Nene Arizawa and Kathy Cool. So yeah, they'll team up in tag team action. Then Kiana James walks back into the office and she goes, Brandy, last week was quite the night, if I do say so myself. She goes, yes, can I help you? Welcome back Isaiah Lee, who kicked your head off last week, and that was quite entertaining. She goes, but again, that's what I mean, Brandy. You can't be taking bias against your own wrestlers, okay? Now, your review, I've got on a good authority that you're currently being monitored by the way you run this women's division. So tonight, we're going to keep a close eye on you, Brandy. You better not put anything wrong. Because, well, you know, it's great to have you back here, Kiana, after last week. We had such a great chat last time. But since you are here, how about tonight we put you back into the ring? You can have a match against Liv Morgan tonight. .46 rated tag match, that's fine. You know, that's actually quite good, considering who's in it. But yeah, it's Karen Petrovich and Pridley Reese just coming up to face Kathy Cool and Nene Arizawa. Kathy pins Carmen with the Razzle Dazzle in 6 minutes and 1 second. 48 for Kathy Cool, 54 for Nene, 20 for Brindley, and a 30 for Carmen. And yeah, big win for next gen. Didn't see Tiffany and Mariah in their locker room. And she goes, so, you know, last week here on Heat, you sort of got involved in your own little business. Okay, you beat Scarlett, and that's a big win for you. You're finally making strides up in the world, Mariah, because it's nice to see my assistant, my right-hand girl, you know, actually making waves on her own, because I'm busy out there winning shiny trophies and becoming the center of the universe. So it's nice to have you being able to make your own success instead of riding off my coattails all the time. Then Shotzi walks in. She goes, so, you know, this was the bitch who beat my friend Scarlett last week on Heat. I don't see much, if I'm really being honest here. Tiffy goes, coming from you, okay. At least Scarlett, she's hot. Okay, what are you? You're just a weirdo. She goes, well, it's weird because I'm free tonight, Scarlett's free tonight, and you two seem free tonight, so how about we run it back in tag team action tonight if you're so great, Tiffany? She goes, I'll see you out there. Toodles. 66 rated singles match. Liv Morgan beats Kiana James of the Oblivion in 8:09. 38 for Kiana, 73 for Liv. And yeah, another loss for Kiana James, booked by Brandy Rose, because, I don't know, Kiana's mentoring or monitoring Brandy's work. So, you know, she's clearly got some sort of issue with Brandy. So I don't know who sent her there, though. Alicia's backstage with Xia Li. Says, Xia Li, last week you made your return here on Heat. You know, just after Humberto Carrillo had returned on Raw to become the Intercontinental Champion. So now, what's your goals here in WWE? And so I was like, you know, it made me proud to see Humberto become the Intercontinental Champion. But that just means that now I have to become champion. If Humberto is the Intercontinental Champion, I will be champion soon. And then Humberto walks into frame, and we finally get them on camera together. You know, hugging, you know, high-fiving and all that, doing Path of the Dragon stuff. 73 rated tag match. Tiffany and Mariah do win, of course. Tiffany Schramm pins Scarlett with a PME in 10 minutes 10. 44 for Mariah, 74 for Tiffany, 64 for Scarlett, and a 72 for Shotzi. Then a 76 rated main event. Roxy Perez is here, and she defeats Alba Fire in 12:53. 71 for Roxy, 69 for Alba. And that ends Heat. Show gets a 72. What matters more is what you thought of the show, mainly of Raw. And I'll see you next time for ECW, where, you know, it's the big show. I can't remember what it's called. But, yeah. It's got the Jay and Jimmy match on it. Is it Living Dangerously? Is that what I called it? Yes, I'm just looking it up. No, Living Dangerously was the one before WrestleMania. I think it's just got two. Yeah, it's just an episode of ECW. Never mind. It hasn't got a fancy name at all. But it has got Jimmy and Jay for the ECW Championship and the God defending against CSJ in a WrestleMania rematch. So yeah, you're not going to want to miss that one. See you there.